So with our handsome Mr. Oh, he's going right for the raccoon with Mr. P. I wanted to work a little bit. I know we did the toy exchange game a little bit with Mr. A the previous time. So I know at times Mr. P will sometimes grab for inappropriate items from our standards and then have a hard time relinquishing those things. I would recommend to obviously practice with items he's allowed to have a variation of for his respect value. So what I mean by that is maybe there's different plushies, there's different tuggies. There could be also, for example, I'm just going to do a couple find its while I'm blabbing. There could be also different types of chew items or puzzle toys. But we want Mr. P to realize that letting go does not equal the end of the fun. So for the jumping up, I just ignore. I know you guys technically use the word down for getting off of you. Just let me know what you use for your word for getting on the ground. So what I mean by that is like normally I would say down to lie down on your belly, and then I would normally say off when they're jumping up on me onto something else. So, but if down means to get off of you, just let me know what slogan you use for, again, tummy and legs lying on the floor. So for right now, Mr. Handsome, we're going to warm up with a little bit with playing with one item and see if we can go from one toy to another. If he's not a huge fan of those ropes, I know he's kind of going for the fleece, which is sometimes a little bit easier for them to grab. So what I'd recommend is, let's say one of the toys comes alive and you're playing with the toy and you're making it really fun to do these activities. Let's say he gains that toy and you're mid-play and he's got it in his mouth. I might go, Peter, yes. And feed him for, in the beginning, maybe super easy name recognition. If, let's say, he has a hard time with his name, you could also use a little kissy noise, so like the positive interrupter. We do want to refrain from, let's say, for example, saying over and over any of the skills. So if your word is going to be drop it, means to give something and let go. That will be the word you're going to use when anything goes in his mouth, be it good or bad from our perspective. So again, the toy is alive. We go and grab it. When he's mid-play, you either get him to let go of the original toy to play with a second, or you go from the toy into a food item. So let's say now he's got this toy. I might go, ready? Drop it. Yes. So if, let's say, he doesn't respond, he's a little bit unsure, I would go from this little moment, as opposed to going and trying to peel it from him, nice. Get him to have a few moments to think. A lot of times we want instant gratification, which I understand, but let's say he grabs the toy and you asked for the drop it, nothing happened. Gauge then, does he have a good account into letting go of things have been valuable? If, let's say, letting go of things means we take it away or we swipe the item, then it tends to equal that me coming near you equals the end of the fun, or I make it confrontational, or it turns into I take it from you no matter what. So right here, he's mid-play with the toy. I might go, ready, Peter? And if, let's say, he doesn't respond because he's a little intrigued, yes, nice job. And we'll go right into a little find it. So I'm not even going and taking the item from him. In the beginning, good job. I just want him to think that being near me and these items doesn't equal conflict or like clashing. So right now he was playing with the funny little toy. Let's say he likes the plushies. I'm going to grab Mr. Raccoon, get him a little intrigued with Mr. Raccoon. Yeah, nice. And let's say he's got it. We could be playing and tugging together. I would then go from, let's say he's mid-play with this guy, and then he's, of course, losing interest, but let's say he still had it in his mouth. You could go right into a little find it and get him to letting go equals we get a little paycheck for doing so. Ready? Come get Mr. Raccoon. Yeah, nice job. So let's say Mr. Raccoon has lost his interest. Maybe he likes it better when he gets to engage with it. The cactus little toy was intriguing. Nice. Yeah. So you could eventually also ask him to take it versus drop, give, or out. Ready? Good job. And we might go, ready? Drop it. Yes, and feed for that. So again, the toy doesn't leave the bubble. Because if every time I exchange, remember, just like with us, if I were about to sit down to have a most decadent dessert and someone comes over and says, oh, I'm going to give you this real cool thing, and I stop for a second, they gave me the cool thing, but it was like, let's say, a penny, I may not be super excited about the exchange of my delicious dessert for a penny. So make sure that if the only time you're kind of exchanging is when you take the thing away, that tends to equal that most of those times it's been like a trick moment. And when you offer something, it means the other thing's going to go away. So some puppies catch on to that pattern and then they get into the rhythm of not wanting to give up something because it always meant it disappeared shortly thereafter. I'm going to actually move the water. I always forget Mr. B likes to dump it, but I put one on a chair. So I'm just going to put it down for Mr. P. He wanted to have a little water. Sorry, I was out of range. So, but I popped the water down for him. Mr. B. Bodie, he enjoys being in a swimming pool scenario. So he likes to have all the water go everywhere, which again, work in progress. So, but being a typical lab, he's like, guys, it's better to either wear the water or be submersed in it somehow. So the other option too is to have a toy that's on a tether so you can be part of the game for those take it and drop it's. So otherwise, if I wasn't involved, this toy wouldn't come alive. It wouldn't be like this fun adventure to chase and grab and bite and tug. So now my toy is alive, it's wiggling, he has to go and grab it. And let's say for grabbing it, as opposed to going into exchanging for another toy, I might then hold the toy limp, stop wiggling it, go right into, ready, Peter, find it, and get him that letting go. Doesn't mean it goes away again, but that we can play once more. So ready, Peter, go get it. So now my toy comes alive. It can turn into a wild critter that he has to come and chase and grab. And this again helps your puppy have several different venues. Oh, we stepped on the raccoon. Nice, go get it. But this gives your puppy a lot of great venues for doing normal puppy behavior. Chasing, grabbing, tugging, biting. He's like, I like this cactus. So right here, nice. We might go into some more play with the funny guy. See if he wants to chase. Peter says, I'm already so winded. The beauties did get some really nice play in this morning and throughout the day. So they're going to be a little extra tired, I think. So again, the toy is alive. He's like, crash. And now it's wiggling. I might go and see if I can do a quick little, ready, drop it. Yes, and then feed. So that way when I start to ask for it, he's already practiced a little bit that letting go has equaled something really nice, and that doesn't mean the game is done. I'm going to go ahead and bust out now my new toy. Ready, Peter? And then notice how he's playing with the cactus, and now this toy came alive. He may be finding this one slightly intriguing. He's like, where's the other friend? You looking for another snack? I think he's actually searching for this one. Is that the one you want? He's like, I'm not sure. I want all of them. So let's say right here, I got his attention on my little toy on a rope again. The benefit of this is getting that on-off switch. Like we've mentioned a little bit in the past, they kind of get excited. And then from that excitement, you try to get them to check in or do like a little bit of a slow down scenario. Nice. So right here, we're still doing a real nice job chasing the critter. He's like through the legs. So let's say again, I'm going to put away my other secondary toy just so I have free hands. He's going to be mid-play with this bad boy. And then I might go, ready? Drop it. Peter. Yes. So if let's say Mr. P didn't respond as well to the drop it, don't keep repeating it. But I'd recommend to do another skill maybe he knows a bit better. So it could be his name. It could be a find it. Because right now we're just building up that letting go doesn't mean bad stuff. So right here I might go, ready? Drop. Yes, and I'm going to feed him for that. Good job. So then we might go again in a moment and do another one. So he's mid-play. He's chewing his heart. Oh, that was a nice check-in. So also, whenever you get these little glimmers of him being like, hey, what are you up to, crazy lady? I would feed him for these little check-ins. Because if that means he can start to check in with a toy that he's allowed to play with and he gets excited over, that means maybe he can check in through things he finds hard or might be things that are not necessarily a moment for him to enjoy that scenario with the, let's say, a no-no item. So right here, I might have the toy come alive. Ready? Go get it. So I tend to have a slogan for like going and grabbing something. So for my guys, it's normally go get it. Some people might say fetch if it's like, retrieve situation. It's whatever makes sense to you guys. So my toy is alive. We're playing. I'm going to go ahead and get a little tidbit ready. I'm going to see if I can mid-play ask him to, again, let go of the item. So we're going to go right here and he's playing. I'm going to go drop it. Yes. And I feed for that. Nice. You ready? Go get it. So now my toy is alive so we can play again. Oh my goodness, where's it going? Such a fast boy. And again, the benefit of doing some of this wiggle is for a lot of puppies, the toys that come alive and there's some movement, that becomes really, really fun. So you're helping him also expend both mental and physical energy, which is great. So now again, we might try. So it's in his mouth, drop it. Yes, and I feed for that. Nice. If let's say he goes into biting it again, I don't make it wiggle. Oh, good job. So I want him to start thinking that checking in from the toy to me has a lot of great value too. So I might go again. Ready? Yeah, good job. So right here, I'm just feeding him several little reps of doing a great job checking in with me. Oh my, as opposed to going right for the toy. But then I might go, are you ready? Go get it. And now the toy can come alive again. Oh my goodness, such a smart boy. He's like, I'm going to catch that bad boy. Nice. So you'll see I sometimes do like almost like a little figure 8 pattern. This way my puppy doesn't jump up high to go grab the toy. I don't want him to by accident leap up high and then land funny. So I want this to feel safe and comfortable for him physically too. He's like, lady, I'm getting so tired. Nice. Oh, it's always embarrassing when it falls right out of your face again. So then mid toys everywhere, you could then try working focus on you. So here's that toy that was really cool, but now he's like, you know what? I'm going to do some check-ins. So very nice. So remember too that your history, oh my goodness, chewing is hard, but you want to have a learning history scenario where there's a lot of great deposits into things you'd like to have happen again. So if, let's say, toys out and about are hard for him, practice with toys out so you have things to rotate through while you might work a few other skills. So ready, drop. He's like, there's a crumb. Nice, good job. Gorgeous. What a smart boy. But then you could be mid-toys, you maybe get a little sit from the handsome guy and you feed for that. You could maybe even do a little bit of movement through the toys. So maybe you work on a little bit with loose leash walk-in. Ready? So even though we don't have any gear on, which is perfectly fine, we could be meandering through the toys. It's always funny when the food falls right out of their little jowls. So, but you could be meandering. You've got your items out on the floor. Maybe you do a little find it. And then from there you call Mr. Handsome back to you. So Peter, come. Yes. And because if, let's say, play only happens in certain windows, or when play happens, it always tends into like you taking the item away and it goes, off into its own little bubble. It is nice to have sometimes items out and you could rotate through a few different skills. So I'm going to again do another little find it for the handsome guy, send him further away. Oh my goodness, chewing is optional when you're running. And then right here, Peter, come. Nice. What a smart boy. Good job. Ready? We'll do another little sit. Yes. But too, remember, if he starts to jump up, that tends to be for a lot of puppies, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overtired, or I don't understand. If you're finding that you're getting a lot of jumping with roar and mouthiness, they're definitely tired. But definitely make sure that his, physical and mental needs are being met. And I'm not saying you guys are not doing a wonderful job already at home, but sometimes maybe it's been a rainy day or we've been really swamped with work. And this doesn't mean that 24/7 you always have to meet your puppy's needs, but remember they might be more rowdy or more unruly if certain things have not been accomplished in the day. So that's where puzzle toys or working a little bit with this mental, he's like, lady, I crashed. Working a little bit with his body and his mind might be a good way to burn him out in a good way and get his sort of levels a little lower. So that way he feels like he did get to work on chasing the right item. I know at times you say he sometimes tries to chase the cats. Remember that chasing behaviors are immensely reinforcing to your dog. So even though you might be telling him no or leave it or whatever it might be, the act of actually chasing the cats was super fun. So we want to either prevent the rehearsal by using gear in the home, make sure there's a safe zone for the cats, which I believe there already is, and then make sure that Mr. P has times where he can chase the appropriate item, maybe even while the cats are doing something off on their own little bubble. So that way when cats are out, it doesn't equal chase them, but work on these skills instead. That's kind of how I worked it with one of my previous boys as well when he was younger. Now he does just fine. But in the beginning, when the kids were running, he'd think maybe we should chase children too, because that's what I'm bred to do, is move things with my face. So we had to then practice other skills other than chasing while the littles were doing their usual childlike stuff. And then that way I could get Mr. B, my Bill, to be able to do a different skill instead. So right here, let's say he's got the toy. We might go, ready? Oh, good job. And I'm just going to feed him for that little check-in he gave me. So, but let's see if I'm going to try and work a little bit with our funny little toy. Ready? Oh my goodness, go get that toy. So right here, we might go, Peter. Yes. And you could work name recognition. Maybe that's one of his favorites. Oh my gosh, chewing is so hard. You got it, sir? He's like, I did not get that one. Oh my goodness. Better? Sometimes it's so hard when we're panting and chewing. Oh my goodness. Worst day ever, but that was very good. So let's say, for example, you could work a little name recognition. You could work a little find it. You could try implementing the drop it or whatever slogan you're using for letting go. But if you're not getting fluid behavior with things he's allowed to have, it's going to be really hard to do this with things he shouldn't have. So let's say, for example, again, I did put away my trash, but if let's say you did have some household items that were safe to practice with, remember that your leave it should be with items that are not too dangerous. So if let's say your puppy is constantly trying to swallow acorns, I wouldn't start with those and then see what happens. I'd recommend to start with like a bigger item. Maybe there's a cloth, like a washcloth you could try. Maybe there's an oven mitt. Maybe you've got a big hat, whatever you don't mind using as a no-no item. But I would recommend to start off on gear. So like I did a little bit earlier with Mr. O, and see how to work a little bit with those leave it items on the floor and build up. So right here, I might go again, Peter, come. Yes, what a smart boy. But definitely recommend practice the toy exchange game or have multiple items and rotate through them. And sometimes make it fun to exchange for a toy or rotation through another item on the ground, or feed for letting go here and there throughout him playing with something. But this would be something I would highly recommend do several times throughout the week so you can keep building this comfort range for the handsome boy. But we'll give him a little breather. Nice job, Mr. P. And we'll take a little break from the toy exchange game and we'll work a few other skills. Ready? You want to do a little find it? But Mr. P did a really nice job with the toy exchange game again.